Golden State Warriors fans, hang on to your hats and tighten your grip on those Curry jerseys, because what I'm about to reveal isn't just another off-season whisper. It's a seismic shift that could redefine the very DNA of the franchise. You've loved through dynasties and heartbreaks alike. Imagine, yes imagine, one of the NBA's most electrifying, gravity-defying superstars. You mourned a name that sends shockwaves through arenas with every thunderous dunk and lightning quick drive, suiting up in the legendary blue and gold. This isn't a fantasy cooked up by internet trolls or fan fiction bouncing around social media. This is the kind of buzz burning deep in league insiders' whispers that could catapult the Warriors back into untouchable contender status. Under the steady and visionary eye of Steve Kerr, picture the unstoppable fusion of Steph Curry's deadly long-range precision and Morant's explosive, fearless attack. A dynamic duo poised to tear through Western Conference defenses like never before. It's a chess move so daring, so audacious, it could shatter expectations. Golden State, the team synonymous with smart gambles and revolutionary basketball, standing on the cusp of a new era, driven by youth fire and a relentless hunger to reclaim the throne. But wait, the plot thickens. Because along with the jaw-dropping prospect of Morant, two other rising stars quietly knocking on San Francisco's door might be joining the cause, adding layers of depth and cultural resonance that transcend the hardwood. Renzo Bando and Kai Sato, two young, hungry talents from the Philippines, have not only impressed with their raw skill and tenacity, but have struck a chord with the Warriors' ethos. Players who embrace sacrifice, versatility, and an unyielding will to win. Bando, relentless and crafty, embodies the kind of energy that changes games with defense, hustle plays, and timely shooting. A Swiss Army knife perfectly tailored for Kerr's fast-moving, position-fluid system. And then there's Kai Sato. Yes, the 7'3" center, who isn't just towering for show. He represents the modern NB, a big man with his blend of rim protection, high IQ passing, and a developing mid-range game that could finally plug a hole Warriors fans have felt since the days of Bogut and Looney. Imagine a lineup where Curry orchestrates the offense, Sato sets the screen, Morant slices through defenses with reckless speed, and Bando pressures on the wings. The nightmare matchup where no defense knows who to guard first or how to slow down such a multi-dimensional assault. Beyond strategy and matchups, these moves are steeped in symbolism. Bando and Sato bring a connection to the fiercely loyal Filipino-American community in the Bay Area, turning the Chase Center into a cultural powerhouse, waving flags and chanting. For heroes representing their heritage on basketball's biggest stage, can you picture the energy? The packed stands, the media spotlight shining from Asia, the Warriors transforming from a league favorite to a global beacon of inclusion, skill, and heart. But here's the kicker. The exciting yet brutal truth is that the Warriors won't be able to just add these pieces without making tough calls. Morant, the prize star of the Memphis Grizzlies, comes with a salary cap impact that demands sacrifices, pushing Golden State's front office into the crucible where loyalty, legacy, and hard business collide. Who will step aside? Who will be the name in trade talks or the contract to be trimmed? These are not easy decisions, but if history has shown us anything, it's that the Warriors know how to blend talent with fit, how to temper egos with chemistry, and how to rebuild without losing their core identity, a strategy fiercely evident when superstar Kevin Durant first stepped onto the Bay Area hardwood. So brace yourselves, because this roster remodeling is nothing short of a rebirth, a deliberate, calculated risk designed to leapfrog the team into a new dynasty chapter. Yes, a Morant Bando Sato Curry core might just be the start of something legendary, a powerhouse built on speed, precision, versatility, grit, and mind-blowing basketball IQ. Steve Kerr, a coach revered for his ability to nurture not only stars but underappreciated talents, would find in these three players the perfect storm of potential and discipline, hunger and talent, all locked in by a culture that demands accountability and rewards unselfishness. Picture Game 6 in the conference semifinals. Warriors down by 3 with seconds ticking away. Curry surrounded and doubled, but finds Morant slicing through the chaos, who draws defenders in and dishes out to a wide-open Sato for the game-winning 3. The crowd erupts. History is rewritten. A new dynasty dawns. But remember, this epic vision doesn't come without its battles. Morant will face not only defensive schemes, but the internal challenge of molding his blazing individual talent into Kerr's collective machine. Abando and Sato will fight to carve their place in a star-studded, championship-hardened roster hungry for titles. The front office will walk a tightrope of financial gymnastics, navigating salary caps and luxury taxes, balancing bold acquisitions with sustaining depth and flexibility. And the Warriors faithful? They'll wrestle with letting familiar faces go to make room for this leap into the unknown, understanding that sometimes pain today births glory tomorrow. This is the moment where the team must choose: stay comfortable in the well-trodden path, or dare to rewrite its future with young firebrands ready to rise, ready to fight, ready to etch their names alongside legends like Curry, Thompson, and Green. This is not just a roster shuffle. It's a cultural renaissance, a message to the NBA that Golden State isn't finished yet. In fact, they're just getting started. If you felt that stirring in your soul, that electric buzz in your veins, then you know you're witnessing history in the making. The quiet rebuilding whispers are about to roar into a thunderclap, and every move, every trade, every decision will be a chapter in a story for the ages. So Warriors fans, ask yourself, are you ready to welcome Morant into the family? Are you prepared to rise alongside Abando and Sato, embracing a new era of speed, skill, and unbreakable spirit? Hit that like button, subscribe for every twist and turn on your notifications, because this saga will unfold with more drama and heart than you ever imagined. The next Golden State Warriors era is dawning, and it promises to be electric, unprecedented, and unforgettable. Stay tuned, because the revolution starts now. If your heart just skipped a beat imagining Morant rocking that Warriors jersey, then I want to hear you loud and clear drop your wildest what if in the comments, because we're diving headfirst into the chaos and brilliance of what this could mean for Duck Nation's future. Now let's lay it all out there. This isn't just about adding another star. It's about igniting a seismic ripple through the very fabric of what has made Golden State legendary and testing if this franchise can evolve without crumbling under pressure. Morant, the electric jaw-dropping highlight reel guy, whose explosive drives and gravity-defying finishes have rewritten highlight tapes worldwide, is the kind of elite talent that screams game-changer. But here's the clincher. How does this blend with a roster, and more importantly, a culture that's been painstakingly crafted around Steph's unselfish brilliance and Draymond's relentless defensive engine? Steve Kerr's system is a symphony, a harmony made from equal parts proficiency and selflessness, a heist crew where everybody knows their role. Now toss in a mercurial, fiery dynamo like Morant, who thrives on emotion and takeover moments. This disrupt the flow, or will Kerr's coaching genius unlock an even more devastating offense? Imagine the late-game scenarios. Steph pulling up from 30 feet, defenses collapsing, Morant darting through the chaos, Abando buzzing like a defensive shark ready to pounce on turnovers, and Sato anchoring the paint with size and smarts. That's a nightmare for any Western Conference foe. But, and you know there's always a but, what about the ripple effects in the locker room? Wiggins, still trying to reclaim that all-star consistency that earned him a max deal, might feel the squeeze. How much runway will there be for the guy who once was a key piece in that last championship run? Kuminga's untapped potential hangs. In the balance as well, will he flourish as a complementary firestarter? Or will the star weight on Morant's shoulders leave less room for the young guys to breathe and grow? And speaking of weight, the salary cap nightmare that comes with acquiring Morant could force downward moves on crucial depth players like Poole or Moody. Imagine losing those bench sparks that keep this team rolling in slow-motion games, or when the starters need a breather. Dub Nation has endured the roller coaster. Remember the agony of injuries to Clay, the sleepless nights of watching the team fall short after dominating seasons, the "we believe" fever dream that surged through. Oracle? Now take all those emotions and multiply them by 10, because we're on the verge of a franchise-defining gamble that could either unleash a new dynasty or plunge the team into an identity crisis, the likes of which hasn't been seen since Kevin Durant's abrupt departure. West Coast staples like the Suns, Nuggets, and Clippers aren't sitting still either. The Nuggets' Nikola Jokic remains the reigning MVP beast, and the Suns are shoring up their roster to keep pace with the ever-shifting sands of NBA powerhouses. How will Morant, Abando, and Sato affect that delicate balance? Can Kerr's adaptability outsmart the league's finest strategists? Picture the scenario where the Warriors wrangle the juggernaut of young talent into a poised machine, the perfect mix of scorched earth offense and suffocating defense. Heck, even Draymond Green's veteran savvy could rise to new heights with fresh weapons on the court. But what if, just what if, the personality clashes ignite? Morant's fiery speaker box is the opposite vibe of Kerr's calm, strategic blueprint. Will these giants of temperament find common ground, or will the locker room become a powder keg waiting to explode? The Bay Area's passionate fandom, already riding the emotional highs and punishing lows of the last decade, will be watching every practice, every film session, every timeout with the intensity of a playoff elimination game. Every move could be the difference between a breakout or a bust. And what about those two young men from the Philippines, Abando and Sato? Beyond their unquestionable skill and upside, their arrival could transform the Chase Center into an epicenter of global basketball culture, rousing millions of new fans and rallying an untold level of energy that no other NBA franchise currently taps into. This isn't just basketball. It's a cultural awakening that could extend Golden State's brand far beyond the courts of California, casting a spotlight on a community historically underrepresented in pro hoops. But bringing in international stars also means blending cultural nuances and expectations into a team already juggling egos and pressure that few franchises understand best. Will Kerr, the mastermind of inclusivity and ball movement, be able to foster an environment where Morant's superstar ambitions thrive alongside the selfless spirits of Abando and Sato? Could this next chapter be the catalyst that pushes Steph, Curry, still arguably the greatest shooter the game has ever seen, into a whole new stratosphere of leadership, not just scoring? It's a tantalizing question that keeps me up late at night, picturing Steph embracing a new role as mentor and equal teammate rather than the primary man who has carried this team. Since 2009, he's still putting up electric numbers: 32 points a game last season, shattering the old narratives around aging stars or diminishing returns. But is this his swan song under the championship spotlight? Or will the arrival of fresh young blood inspire Curry to a final glorious renaissance? And let's not forget the challenge for the front office, piecing together this glorious, unstable jigsaw puzzle with the cruel reality of salary cap constraints, trade negotiations, and the inevitable tough calls that will see fan favorites traded away or benched to make room for a future that looks brighter but undeniably riskier. The Warriors brass has earned a reputation as prestige gamblers, drafting wisely, trading shrewdly, and finding diamonds in rough. Just remember how that KD signing catapulted the team into a dynasty that shook the basketball world. Now that pattern must repeat, but they're walking a razor-thin line between genius and disaster. What if Morant's blazing talent doesn't quite fit the system Kerr has mastered so well? Could this spark a last-ditch championship run that answers all our prayers? Or might it sow the seeds of a locker room fracture the Warriors can't heal? Think about the stakes here. This isn't just a roster move. It's a statement that Golden State refuses to settle for anything less than greatness, no matter the cost. From 5 straight finals appearances to this moment where every decision carries the weight of decades of history, the Warriors are at a crossroads on to what's comfortable and risk fading quietly into the background or go all in, ushering in an era defined by fearlessness, speed, and an unquenchable thirst for glory. As someone who screamed for Baron Davis to lead us to crazy victories in 2007, who wept with the elation and heartbreak of Klay Thompson's comeback season in 2022, and who still believes with every fiber of my being that Steph Curry's miracle runs aren't finished yet, I'm telling you, this moment feels different. It's not just a shot in the dark. It's a calculated blaze that could light the way to something massive, something the basketball world hasn't seen before. This is the moment to hold on to hope, to brace for the chaos, and to prepare for a revolution that could redefine what it means to be a warrior. Now, your turn. Tell me what you're feeling deep down in the comments. No sugarcoating, no filters. Whether you're riding this wave all the way or raising the red flag on this gamble, I'm in the trenches with you. Every voice matters because this epic story is far from over, and Dub Nation deserves to live every wild second of it.